You're watching the Maryland Players Show. All right, my guest today, he attended Archbishop Carroll High School in Washington, D.C., where he was honorable mention All-American, Capital Classic All-Star, played in the Capital Classic All-Star game, a legendary game. Led the nation in high school in blocks, then transitioned to the University of Maryland in 87, where he scored 535 points, 424 rebounds, 70 steals at the center position. That's pretty good, Foots. 239 blocks, which is third in University of Maryland's history. Career average of 2.5 blocks per game for his career, which is good for number 3 as well in the University of Maryland's history. In his senior year, scored 12 points, 8.3 rebounds, 5.1 blocks per game. So the 8.3 rebounds is top 30 in University of Maryland's history. And of course, you already know, 5 blocks a game, number 1 by a wide margin, easily. 143 blocks in 90-91 season, which is a record. Only player in Terp history with over 125 blocks in a season.
Oh, man.
11 blocks in one half, which is a record for the University of Maryland. You and your brother Derek are the only players with 100 blocks in a season, and the only players with 12 blocks in a game. Out of the top 12 spots for most blocks in a game, you and your brother hold 10 of the top 12 spots. This is just incredible. He had a pro career in Europe and the NBA from 91 to 97. He had a brief stint with the Washington Bullets in 1996.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show, my man, Cedric Lewis.
Walt, what's going on, man? I'm glad that you have me on the show, man. I've been waiting to get on here. I thought you just forgot about it, brother.
No, man. Hey, listen, it's a pleasure to have you on. Especially, being one of your teammates, man, just keeping in touch with you over the years. And so It's definitely a pleasure finally getting you on the show, bro.
No,
so let's
absolutely.
get into it. Let's get into it, Foot.
Yes, sir. Let's go, man.
So look, you're from DC, right? So what was it like for you growing up in DC as a kid?
You know what, man? It's like my neighborhood, and we're in actually Temple Hills, right across the line from DC. It was great, man. The knowledge in the basketball. Like my father used to coach at Silver Hill Boys and Girls Club, and the players that and I was always young, so he coached the older team. He coached Derek and some guys a little bit older than my brother, so I would always hang around those guys. And I'm the ball boy, plucking me in the back of the head and stuff. But they just hanging around those guys like Frank Ross, a guy named Darryl Robinson, Brent Tucker. So I'm hanging around these guys as kids, man, and I'm learning from them how to play the game, man. So it was great, just the wealth of knowledge, and man, just the amount of talent right there in that one little area was just crazy.
Oh man, you named some great names there, man. Some neighborhood ballers that was certain prolific scorers, man, for sure. And you know what, Sid? That Temple Hills area, my home was walking distance from yours. So, all of us grew up in that same area. That's just incredible. The talent that was right there in walking distance, everybody right there in the area. And it was just incredible to grow up around that. So I can definitely identify with what you're saying there. So more concentrated on your home, man. What was it like with the one-on-one games with Derek growing up? I would imagine no scoring was happening,
Well, man, here's the thing, man. So Derek, I didn't catch Derek until probably my junior year in high school. So Derek was, I'm probably like 3 or 4 inches shorter, maybe more than that, shorter than Derek, man. So I didn't catch him. So growing up as a kid with the number 1 shot blocker in the nation, that's why I couldn't shoot, man. I ain't see any balls. I ain't see any shots going to basket when I was playing with Derek back in the day, man. And he was relentless. He was not going to, Derek was the ultimate big brother that wasn't going to let his little brother do a thing, man. Yeah. So the only way, my sport, man, growing up, the only way I can get him back was playing football because I could actually hit him. So, but as far as basketball, man, I couldn't get a shot off on this guy to save my life, man.
So let's stay right there, man. You know, Derek just being a fantastic defensive player and that reputation of doing that on a consistent basis. How was it having an older brother at University of Maryland with the comparisons and expectations to follow in his footsteps?
And it's one of those things you can't get away with, man. It followed me. It started back when Derek was at Carroll, because, you know, he had a great career at Carroll. Then Derek was actually Mr. Basketball for DC his senior year in '84. So of course everybody's like, yeah, Derek got a younger brother. He has a younger brother. And so, you know, of course, I was always known as Little Derek for a while. And then I finally caught up with him. And then I started coming into my own, man, probably in my junior year. And man, it was just, but it was great having somebody like that, because he would call me out to Maryland. I had a chance to play with Bias when he was there. You know, he'd call me, they would let me come play pickup games with them, man. And that right there within itself, man, that's just one of the best things I could ever got, that as a young player, to hang out with those guys, Adrian Branch, Keith Gatlin, Lynn Bias, Ben Coleman, man, those guys, man, those are my mentors coming up, and man, it just made me want to go to Maryland that much more, man.
Yeah, you know, choosing to go to Maryland, it was at a time when, you know, right after Lynn Bias and just a lot of turmoil surrounding the University of Maryland. Coach Wade had just come, and all of those things was involved with the University of Maryland at that time. What made you choose to come into that situation knowing the circumstances?
You know, man, I think I made a decision to go to Maryland. I used to go to the basketball camps during the summer. And at the time, Coach Drizel was the coach. And once all that stuff went down with Lynn Bias and stuff, I was already in love with the university as a kid. So then Bob Wade, man, he came in, he recruited me. I liked what Bob Wade had to say, and had an opportunity to play with him. And so I just wanted to go and just try to, you know, I think people think I followed Derek to Maryland, but I committed, man, back when in 8th grade, man. Lefty came to the house one time and said, "You coming to Maryland? You coming to Maryland, son?" And I told her, I said, "Man, this is the place for me, man. I'm going. This is where I want to be, man." So I have my heart set on Maryland at a young age, Walt.
So it has to be crazy. I mean, in the household growing up, you know, the number one and number two leading shot blockers in Maryland history. I mean, you know, just the arguments about who the best, man. That's just crazy that it's relegated to this one household, you know. So, you know, playing with you, Foots, I mean, you wasn't I wouldn't say you were like super athletic, or, you know, especially for that day, back in those days, you wasn't a tall center, you know, you were on the shorter side. And, you know, if I'm honest here, you were a big reason in why I got so many steals in my career, because, you know, my instincts to read and anticipate things grew like crazy playing with you, because it was the train of thought I had. It was one or two things that's going to happen. And this is my thought process. It was, okay, when this trap happened with Vince or Juice on the sideline, right. I'm going to get this steal, right? I'm going to go get this steal so I can give me an easy bucket. Or it was either going to be that, or I'm going to go for this steal. If I miss it, Foot's going to block it, and he's going to get me out on the lead, leave me out on the fast break, and I'm going to get this easy bucket. So, I was going to get easy bucket in my mind. So I was so aggressive going to get steals, man. But I mean, I remember watching that game when we were down in South Florida, and dude, you had one block at halftime and ended the game with 12 blocks.
Hey, Walt,
how did you get so good at blocking shots like that?
Well, first of all, man, let me go back that South Florida game. First, like during the games, doing warm-ups, you know, everybody's normally taking their shot, shooting around. I would study how players would shoot the ball, where their release spots were, man. And back then, people, because I'm not the tallest center, I'm an undersized. Truthfully, they got me 6'9", like you might see me listed as 6'10", 6'9", something like that. I'm really about 6'8". So
you were right there with me, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. So one of the things that I would do, I would watch that, but most of the times guys like, okay, now he's, you know, I don't think they believe that I could actually block it. So I have more people that would challenge me. that's why I think that record was there, because the game has changed so much now. People are shooting more three-pointers, and it's harder to block that. But it's easier, believe it or not, man, it's easier to block a dunk because it's one place the ball is going to go, and that's to the rim. So I would just literally wait by the rim and wait for the ball to get there and block it, man. So that was easy. But going back to that South Florida game, I don't know if you remember this. At halftime, man, Gary did not come in the locker room.
Right.
Man, he didn't come in the locker room until like it was probably about a minute left on the clock, and told us, I don't want to like get censored from the show, but he just in essence told us to get back out on the court, right? that was the only thing.
The explicit version, Foots.
Yeah, right. That's, I'm doing a PG, the G-rated version right now. So he told us to get back out there on the court. And Walt, man, the only thing that was in my mind, I can remember when we lost to Copper State the year before, that practice that we had after that. Yeah. Like, I'm not doing this again, man. I gotta figure out a way to get this, turn this thing around, man. So I turned those 12, and that second half, I got 11 blocks, man.
It was craziness because I had a broken leg at the time, so I wasn't playing in the game. So I was on the sideline, and I could see it. Like it was just crazy to see. We were pressing all game, and it was 2-on-1 fast breaks on a regular basis, and that thing was just getting blocked. I mean, it was just unbelievable to see that in real life, man. You know?
Hey, man. And so the bad thing about your broken leg, I'm the one that got the blame for that, but they played it back on the news. I'm like, oh man, okay, so now I put the wizard down, and now we're about to lose to South Florida, man. So I had to do something, man. But the press. I mean, but like you said, you guys set it up on the front end, where it just really made my job that much easier, because I had a chance to like see the plays and see what was happening on the court with the traps and all that stuff. So I was able to break it down and really, like, if somebody's coming, just say if Kevin's coming down or Juice is coming, Kevin McClinton's coming down on the break with you, Kevin has the ball and you on the wing, I'm gonna cheat over to your side to take the pass away from you, because you're the one that's going to be harder to block than Kevin. So I'm gonna let Kevin get all the way to the basket and let him think that he has an open layup and block it, man. So that was my whole motive, man.
Yeah, your timing and you could block shots with both hands, right hand, left. So you would oftentimes have your closest hand contesting. So you was very good at that. So look, how is it watching your daughter compete in volleyball, man? Are you an intense dad out there, or are you a chill dad?
And you know what's funny, Walt? And the mask, I'm kind of glad we had to wear masks to the game, because I'm sitting over there now, I don't have to cover my mouth. But I'm sitting over there, man. I try to be cool, because it's funny. I try not to jump and show too much emotion, because I don't want to distract her, man. So it's just fun watching her being in the same place that I was at. She transferred to Virginia Tech this year, man. But man, I'm gonna tell you, if any of you guys, anybody out there have daughters, man, and they look into volleyball, because it's a hidden sport, man. It's a great sport, but it's just fun watching it now, man.
So what's your thoughts, on the current situation? A lot of turmoil at with the University of Maryland right now, currently. What's your take on the current situation with the basketball team?
Yeah, man, it's unfortunate that Turgeon, he left at the time that he did. I know Danny Maney's trying to do the best that he can with the program. And we just, really hope for the best for the program, because I want to see the program succeed. I want to see it do well. Just because I'm not there anymore, I haven't played since '91 at the University of Maryland, I still have a good love for the school, man, a genuine love for that school. And I'm just hoping that these guys can turn it around and start to pull it together, because it's a great program. I'd like to see the fans get back behind the team, and they just got to kind of gel together. Because if you look back on it, what we went through, the aftermath of Lim Bias, come on, man, this right here is a cakewalk. You know what I'm saying? This is a cakewalk to what we went through. So, they just got to pull it together. And I think that actually brought us together, closer together as teammates and brothers, man. So, which we still have great relationships with our teammates today. So it's just a matter of the whole team just pulling itself together and starting to gel again.
Yeah, man. I think those relationships were cemented by, you know, what we went through early on in our college careers, man. I agree with you wholeheartedly. So what do you have currently, modern day, man? What do you have going on now? What are you currently doing, Sid?
So I'm the vice president of Caldwell Bank in Annapolis Plaza. So I help agents, you know, succeed. I'm kind of, I transitioned. Been a real estate agent for about 25, 26 years now, which is kind of crazy when I look back at the time because I don't know where it's going. So, but now I'm not out in the field anymore. I'm coaching, just like, you know, I retired from basketball and I started coaching kids. So now I'm coaching agents on how to succeed and make them, to help them do better out in the field itself, man. So that's it for me, Walt. That's what I've been doing, man. And I actually love the field.
That's what's up, man. Hey, so look, you know, I ask this question to everyone that comes on the show, man. I need you to tell me something about you that most do not know, my man.
Oh, but you already know what my nickname, man, Foots. I'm the drummer, man.
Foots, tell me about how you started, because you know, we had our little go-go band. We had a end of the year performance. You know, I was on the congos.
Right.
I was on the cowbell.
Right.
And, I mean, we was cranking that thing. We had the whole auditorium dancing and everything, man. But look, how did you get started? Because you were incredible. We call you Foots because Red Essence, the drummer for Red Essence, was Foots. And I was just amazed how you could play them drums, man. And me and you, oftentimes we had the drums and Congo set up in Washington Hall.
Yes,
and we have a crank session all the time.
Right before the game. I think you went out and scored 30 against Carolina that night, man. But man, the way I got started, you know, it was funny, man. I've always been into music. And my father used to play, like, my father was a gym teacher, man. So he used to teach tumbling. And one of the songs that he always played was the Grover Washington Jr. Mr. Magic. And that's, you know, it's kind of famous in the go-go industry world today, man. Chuck Brown used the song, he remade it. The go-go bands have been playing that forever, man. So I used to get, like, if we went to McDonald's, I'll beat on anything, Walt. I have like a whole set of McDonald's cups that I tape together and make drum sets. You know, my father had some, he painted the house one year and he had a bunch of paint cans. I'm like, oh man, I got a full set now.
Depending on how much paint is in each can, they were different pitch. Yeah.
I see, you know. So I started off with that, man. I started using, you know, I had paint cans. My father got tired of looking at me playing them paint cans and got me a drum set, man. So so it's just something, man. Growing up in DC, you hear the go-go music, man. This go-go, this national music of DC, man. So that's what I grew up. I grew up learning how to play it. And man, I just fell in love with music, man. I've always been like, growing up with two school teachers, everything was always a lesson. We would go down to see my grandmother and my parents would be playing music in the car. And they would have me listen to the different sounds, like, okay, what instrument is that you hear playing right now? And I could break a song down by a particular instrument. So like now I have keyboards. I could play each little instrument sound because I've learned how to break down music, man. And that's just something I've always done since I was a kid.
You know, when I was younger, we would have our neighborhood bands, and I would, you know, depending on who was there that day, I would play a little bit of keyboard, conga, drums, and all of that. So when I saw you play, you know, I was just out there, and I could keep the beat going, and I may break it down a little bit. But when I saw you playing, I was like, oh my goodness, this dude is a professional drummer. You know, it was amazing the skill you had on them drums, man. So it was awesome to be able to perform, because I was like, man, on these drums, we are going to shock everybody in our class with this performance.
I'm telling you, we got to get the band back together, man.
We got to get the band back.
Hey, get the ride back with a cowbell.
Yeah, that would be something funny right there, man. Hey, look, Foots, man, thank you so much for joining me today, man. No, it's always a pleasure, bro. And tell your family I said hello, man. Great people. Sir. You know, my family got to know yours as well while we were in college, and just great people, man. So thank you so much for joining the show again, bro.
No doubt, Walt. Love you, brother.
All right, man. Same here, man. Much love.
To host a fan show or appear as a fan on a fan show, create a profile in Fan Media Network. Then look for the news page in our website and fan show resources page. Help yourself. We give show hosts a show graphic in team colors, a simple short show format, tips on pre- and post-production, ideas to get fans and guests on your show, Apple News distribution, and show sponsorship sales and services to help featured show hosts earn money. Show hosts use our iPhone app to publish their shows. Our website supports Android users.